whole family sometimes they perish on this island.
Badagry is a coastal town in Lagos, Nigeria, with a population of over 241,093 people. The native language is Yoruba and Egun. As a journey to this historical site, you can't help but feel the weight of history, as this place was a departure point for numerous enslaved Africans, marking the moment they crossed the threshold into a life of unconceivable difficulty. Join us as we explore the point of no return and embark on a trip of memory and education. This is the Badagry Heritage Museum. It was formerly the district's office and was constructed in 1863 by the British colonial government. The museum attempts to highlight the injustice and horror of the slave trade. We are reminded of the memories of those who endured unimaginable hardships. Inside, you find a collection of artifacts, photographs, and documents that tells the story of Badagry's past, particularly its role in the transatlantic slave trade.
You are welcome to Badagry Heritage Museum. So the museum is all about transatlantic slave trade. Badagry was founded in the year 1445 officially. We all know slave trade is old as human race. It's in the Bible. But we are talking about transatlantic slave trade that began in West Africa around 1445. In 1443, Europeans came to West Africa. They came for research. They came for research of gold, ivory, and diamond that was sponsored by a man called King Alfonso from Portugal. So in 1473, they came for slave trade. They came with gunpowder, mirror, wine, umbrella, copper bars, packet of matches, combs, and some other materials. They were used in slavery West Africa to a place called West Indies, that is present-day Caribbean island. Europeans used a bottle of gin in exchange of 10 slaves, and one umbrella go for 40 slaves. So it's trade by bartered. It's a plantation where they planted sugarcane, cottonwood, tobacco, rice, and some other grains. They were harvested from here, taken back to Europe for manufacturing, and brought back to West Africa in exchange of more slaves. So the 6 and 4 triangle, that's why it's called Atlantic Triangular Slave Trade or Transatlantic Slave Trade in 14th to 18th century. Don't forget, the slave trade is old as human race. So here we have an artwork showing how the slaves have been chained, both the hands and legs. You can see how they chain them. Chain the hands of the leg, hands of the man and the leg. And the man said, "Am I not a man and a brother?" So it's a symbol used in campaigning against slave trade to show how wicked the blacks were before the Europeans. Europeans did not go to interland to sex slaves. It's we, the blacks, from Osun, Ekiti, Egba, Ondo, Benin, Edo. We hunt ourselves, we raid ourselves, we kidnap ourselves down to the coast area for the white man. Because of what? Bottle of gin, umbrella, tobacco, and etc. So this is a symbol used in 1873 in campaigning against slave trade. The slave coast is Nigeria and Benin Republic. Although slaves are taken from all the West African coasts, yes. But out of 10 slaves on the whole West Africa, Nigeria and Benin supply 6 out of 10. So the two countries is called slave coast. They go to the villages, set fire to their houses. People try to flee away. They get them to slave trade. They go to the market, shoot the gun to the sky. People try to run away. They get them to slave trade. See, by who? Blacks to blacks. The weak among them that cannot move forward, they kill them on their way coming. They behead them. That shows that we place low or no values on our people, ourselves, before they arrive. These are the white slaves here, not you. You see white slaves. That is trans-Sahara slave trade. Because Africa was divided into 2 Guinea. We have the Upper Guinea and the Lower Guinea. The Lower Guinea is the West Africa, where the Upper Guinea is in North Africa. So the slaves from North Africa were taken through the Sahara Desert. You know, most of them were white. Morocco, Tripoli, Egypt, Arabs, they were white. But they sold their ladies. They opened them naked. So the buyer will inspect each of their bodies. They call it trans-Sahara slave trade. The other one is called transatlantic slave trade. Today, this trade is still going on till date. The place called Point of No Return. You see the master in front, middle and back. And this is a cage showing the Barakum, where slaves are kept for the arrivals of the slave ship. Barakum is a store or a cage or warehouse. This is a slave drinking pot, slave drinking pot. So they fill the pot with water. And the slave, they tell their hand back. They will ask to go down, use their mouth to drink water like animal. So if the water go down, that is end for the day. This gallery is called resistance and punishment. So you have a dog catching the runaway slaves. The dogs were trained to cut off the throat of the runaway slaves. The dogs were trained to cut off the throat of the runaway slave. Even if the slave killed the dog, the masters will release more dogs.
First-story building in Nigeria is also located in Badagry. The construction started in 1842 and got completed in 1845. This is the Brazilian Balogun that was built by Seriki Farami Williams Abbas. The Balogun had 40 rooms where 40 slaves were kept.
Yes, sir. And the Balogun was established in 1840s. Owned by this gentleman you are seeing in the picture, who happened to be a slave boy at the age of 6. He was captured and sold into slavery. Man started the business. When he first come to Nigeria, when they returned him to Nigeria, he first based in Lagos Island before they built this house, contained 40 slave cells. We have 40 slave cells in this compound, and each of the cells, they kept 40 slaves in each of the cells. This is the cell. The cell size is 9 by 9 feet room. Coming, 9 by 9 feet room cell for 40 human beings. Just imagine, maybe they're going to sit down, stand up, or even sleep. So that is the little ventilation they have. This wrist chain is for 2 people at a time, like an anchor for 2 people at a time. This one is called iron shackle. Iron shackle. We can still call it ankle shackle. 2 people sleep at a time.
Now this is very uncomfortable.
And that chain at your back is for a stubborn slave. Everything you see inside this place is for slave mission. Like this instrument here is for slave mission. Look at that, they call it iron driller. The one I told you, sometimes they call it branding. And they use it again to pierce the lower lip and the upper lip and the padlock it when they are going to the farm. This is the court of Seriki, and that is his chamber. When they want to pass his judgment, he call himself from there and pass his judgment. And sometimes they use it as meeting palace for councils of others. That is for that place. And here, this is where they buried the last born of Seriki, called Chief Saka Seriki Abbas. Born 1987, born 1913, died 1987. Seriki was buried here, died June 11, 1919. Died June 11, 1919. Look at this foundation of where the story building where Seriki lives, where it collapsed. There is the foundation there. When you count the rooms from here, round, in the middle, there are 40 in number.
My name is Simon Stone Enyonam, aka Cornerstone. But I will prefer you calling me Kofi. And the main reason I say you call me Kofi, with that name, you can trace my root. You can tell me where I come from. All tribes in Africa have their name that have a direction, historical direction. Somebody can locate you with your name. But it was so sad that we Africans, we don't like giving our children our native name. We prefer giving them Christian, English, or Islamic name. I'm not saying anything wrong with those names. We have our own name. We have our own way. So you are welcome.
Nice to meet you again, sir.
Yeah.
So what is your take on slave trade, sir?
My what?
Your take on the slave trade.
What do you mean by take?
Your view, what do you think about it?
Okay. Lots.
Okay. Can you share some with us, sir?
Yeah. Slavery divided us as people. Slavery took a lot of things from our culture, our traditions. Okay. Even take our own personality. It takes our name, like I said earlier. We don't even give our children our names again. So slavery divided us as people. And it's so obnoxious trade that really happened to we Africans. So it's a demonic.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So can you imagine how those slaves must have felt then?
It's terrible. Imagine, like, look at this. A sorrowful tear of a slave in the barracoon. What is a barracoon? A barracoon is a cell, dungeon where the enslaved Africans were being kept. And imagine the room is 9 by 9 in size. And imagine keeping 40 human beings as a slave in just a room 9 by 9 in size. In the room, that's where they defecate, pee, do a lot of things. Imagine what they went through. It's terrible.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
So do you think the slave trade could have been avoided as at that time?
I don't think so. You see, as a human, I used to tell people that as a human being, we have both the right and good in us. It's left for you to decide where you belong. You see, slavery has been with mankind right from the beginning, right from the cradle of mankind. If you have power, you want to dominate your brother, you want to dominate your people. So it's not easy to eradicate. Slavery has been with us. So either we like it, in some way or other, we'll be enslaving ourselves. That's why there's no more slavery. There's still modern slavery still going on. Even among the family, still see a slavery going on. So slavery will always be with a man, as far as you're a man.
So do you have any message for us, sir?
Well, lots. I think Africa is a cradle of civilization, and this is not the way we Africans supposed to be living. I think we can bring back the motherland back to where she veered off tracks if we unite, if we embrace our culture and tradition. There's nothing wrong with our way of life.
Thank you very much, sir. Really
You're welcome.
Your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you very much.
One love. We are not slaves.
This is the Badagry slave port. This was where slaves were put in a boat in batches to get across the lagoon. The boats used then had to be paddled, which resulted in transporting the slaves in batches. Due to modernization, boats with engines are now used, which make the journey across the lagoon faster. The ride across the lagoon on a Gberefu jetty takes 5 minutes but was recorded to take longer for the slaves. After highlighting from the Gberefu jetty, one of the things along the path is a mini shack that serves as a spot for tourists to buy handmade bags, shells, crafts from the natives of Badagry land. It now serves as a place where local artisans and craftsmen showcase their works, including traditional crafts and art. It is now a platform in preserving the historical culture and heritage of Badagry.
My name is Abiola. So I'm the tour guide on this island. So we are moving down to the point of no return, but this is just the beginning of the journey. So they call it journey to unknown destination. So during the slave era, they normally assemble slave here based on they use paddle boat, they're not engine boat. And the small boat cannot move them at the same time. They need to do it batch by batch. So anytime they cross them over there, they need to march them from that side down to this spot, while the small boat will go for another set of people. So they will be assembled them here till when they pack them finish. After packing them finish, they need to rearrange the slave by putting the, like re-putting the chain back to them. The chain must be on their hand, leg, neck. They will also padlock their mouth. After that, they need to form a single line. What makes them form a single line? Number one, the chain that they put on them. Number two, the road is not too wide then, very narrow. So those two things will not allow them to spread. They must be on a single file. Now, from here, the journey continues down to unknown destination. Like, the reason why they used to call it journey to unknown destination is, for the first time being here, they don't know where they're going to. It's only the merchant that know where they're going to, but the slave don't know where they are going to. So definitely they call it journey to unknown destination. Along the way down to unknown destination, you have 3 stopover. This is the starting point. The second one at the middle of the road, they call it spirit attenuation well, where they used to drink water and lose their memory. While the last one over there called point of no return. So along the way, many of the slaves die on the way going out. why many of them survive the journey down to where they're taking them down to. So anyone that die on the way going out, they don't have time to bury any one of them. What they need to do is they lose the chain from them and throw them into the bush or at the roadside. Based on the chain that they put on them is very, very important, even than the slave. And they don't want to leave any chain behind. So they prefer losing the slave than the chain. So after that, the journey continue down to unknown destination. So our journey continue now down to the spirit well, where they used to drink water and lose their memory. Yes. So we need to like demonstrate the way they work then. You're welcome.
The hike along the original slave port route begins, and it is usually a 10 to 20
During the
minutes
slave
walk.
era, the road is not too wide like this then. But in 1999, our former governor then, Bubamarua, need to open the narrow way to the wide road so that other people will be coming here for the sighting. So I just want us to demonstrate, like to form the same thing that they used to like go through then, so that people that are looking at us will know how it was then, that they like the way they marched down.
For us to like picture the emotion, to feel what they felt.
Exactly. Because there is no Messiah yet.
Okay.
So we are still praying for Messiah to come.
So is this the second?
No. And this one is showing us that the journey to unknown destination still continue.
Okay.
So just pointing.
Along the road is the attenuation well. This is one of the major attractions of Bereful Island. History have it that the attenuation well has magical powers that make anyone lose their memories when they drink it. This is said to make it easier for the slave traders to transport the slaves without difficulties.
So along the way, they were walking down to unknown destination. So then when they got here, they need to stop the slave outside there. So stopping them there, those who had the padlock their mouth, they will need to open the padlock from their mouth. And when they said they want to drink water, they will be happy that, oh, the merchant have woman feeling. We want to help them. But let me just tell you, taking them down here, nothing like help. The well also have its own mission on the slave. So according to history, when they start drinking this water, they start losing their memory. They can't be able to flash back where they're coming from or where they're going to. So they look calm. They can't be able to react anymore. After that, they padlock their mouth back while the journey continue down to unknown destination. But remember, they were still walking down to the point of no return. And during the slave era, nothing like houses on this island. It's a thick forest where they can find different wild animals. Like what I told you earlier, many of the slaves die through wild animal, while some of them die through stress and hunger. They don't have time to bury any one of them. What they need to do is they lose the chain from them and throw them into the bush or at the roadside. But what make them dug this well here? And the way that you are seeing here, who are those people dug the well? Is it the white man or the black man? The answer is the well is not dug by the white men, but the African know much about the well. And they purposely dug this well here because of the slave. They believe people that they were selling out, they were not white, they were black. And when they got over there, they will gain their freedom one day. And they will surely return back home So as someone that did you bad, you have the chance to play that person back. What is your reaction? Like you will do more than what you think. So those chiefs also then they believe when they return home, they will surely do even what like more than what they think. But for not them to come back, they need to arrange something that will wipe away their memory. So they need to arrange this well here. And after digging the well, they need to add some things into this well. You know, we're Africa, then we're black. So they will believe in root and leaf. When they add it together, it form another thing. So they add some things into this well. After that, they also invoke spirit into the well that make the well turn to spirit well. And they need to like instruct the white man. Anytime you are going out, for a journey to be easier for you, stop them at the middle of the road. You see a well, allow them to drink from the well water, so that your journey will be easier for you. They can't be able to be dragging with you anymore. But you as a merchant, don't drink from the well. And since then, when they got here, they must stop the slave here. And when they stop them, it's under must for them to drink from this well water. And when they drink it, they lose their memory. They can't be able to flash back where they're coming from or where they are going to. Now after that, the journey continued down to point of no return. But remember, they were still walking down to unknown destination. So you know they invoke spirit into the well, and they also add some root and leaf into the well, yes, to make them forget their memory. Baba, when they got here, Otilo, can you like can you still regain after formatting your phone? Unless you re-download. They don't know the animal. So when they got there, depend the country they take them down to. So they will start teaching them their own language over there. So when you look at it today, some of the grandchildren of the slave, see them like 100. You will see like 10 that can still manage the African language, while the 90% they speak foreign language based on what happened to the great one. Yes.
Here is the historical site of Points of No Return. This marked the end of the journey for the slaves, where they helplessly got on the boat and never to return back home.
Point of no return, the last point on this island. So along the narrow way down to this place, when they got here, I said that all this island then is a thick forest. Just only the pathway that they used to follow down to this point. And you see these two posts standing here is the one called Point of No Return. So when they got here, there is not any other way they can go through than through these two poles. And crossing these two poles, that means they cross the point of no return. At the back of the pole, they need to march them to the seashore, where they will now reassemble them like the first place. Now the big ship need to be anchoring on the sea across the wave. So another small boat is there waiting for them. So they use the small boat to be moving the slave into the big one. After packing them finish into the big one, now the big one will pick up where it's going to. Where are they going to? After crossing the point of no return, the journey still continues down to unknown destination. You know, for the first time being on the ocean, they have never seen it before. So through the ocean, you can take them to any part of the world. Brazil, Portugal, France. Like depend where the merchant came from. Now along the way out, those slave merchants used to sell slave on the way going out. See, number one is even without taking anybody down here. Sometimes only me on my house, just walk down through the route down to the other side. Like I flashed back then, like many souls have been already perished down here without even climbing the ocean. Like a father or mother, or even children sometimes, or the whole family sometimes, they perish on this island without even getting to where they were taking them down to. Like sometimes you bring out tears. Oh my God! And some generation are already perished without even like got to their destination. And another thing is when I'm taking tourists down there, like telling them what those slaves go through. Like some will just burst into tears. Like the thing also make me sometimes like cry with them. Like, oh, Ogbeni, it has been so painful that what they don't even think. Father, mother may be sleeping in the house. Those people just get there, bust the door, enter, capture them, like put them into the chain. Like see it now from Ibadan or you're down to Badagry. They can be in the field for 2-3 months. They don't eat what they want again. They'll be eating what those chief or those merchants wish to give them. So like they go through a lot of things during the slave era. So I feel bad. Some of them will also even die inside this ocean.